Hello, welcome to TVC News at 6. We're staying with the security situation in Kaduna, where the state government has imposed a 24-hour curfew in Jammu and Kwara local government areas. The government has also authorized security agencies to enforce the curfew, which begins with immediate effect. This follows the violence that occurred in the area after some communities in Kagoro were attacked by terrorists on Sunday night. In a statement issued on Monday, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, cited advice from security agencies as the reason for the imposition of the curfew to ensure the restoration of law and order. Now, more involvement of civil society organizations and the private sector in government decision-making is one sure way of bringing about strong development and durable solutions to the challenges facing the country. This was among views shared by stakeholders during a one-day consultative meeting organized by the Northeast Development Commission on arriving at a sustainable stabilization development plan for the region. TVC News' Jesse Tafida reports.
The Northeast Development Commission is the body responsible bringing to life a region that has suffered 12-year insurgency. The commission has endeavored to restore livelihoods of victims of the insurgency, and it is now making efforts to sustain its intervention. Today, the NEDC is meeting with key stakeholders to draw a development plan on stabilizing the Northeast region.
The essence of having these diverse stakeholders under one roof here, therefore, is harness their individual and collective input to enrich the process and align the NEDC's policy of inclusiveness and bottom-up approach.
The minister is proud, as a supervising minister, to see that NEDC has hit the ground running, even before the finalization of this plan.
One of the topmost catalysts for boosters of security is getting employment for the youth. So the master plan is going to focus on employment.
Stakeholders at this meeting see the gathering as a step in the right direction towards bringing to life social and basic amenities to victims of insurgency.
I would like to urge the Commission to also look into the possibility of complementing government efforts in developing and implementing viable and workable strategies on how best to address the current challenges.
I want to use this opportunity to call on the NDRC to continue opening its doors for a robust communication channel with the community
in terms of providing the necessary security, which we will continue to give.
This interactive session between the NEDC and government, religious and traditional leaders, CSOs and security agencies is key towards ensuring the beginning of a fruitful journey and success to sustainable development in the region. This consultative meeting between the Northeast Development Commission, Borno State Government and other key stakeholders is to draw out plans on how best to bring about durable solution to a region that has suffered 12 years of insurgency. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
And to other matters, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has granted administrative bail to the immediate past governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano. EFCC Chairman Abdurrashid Bawa, who disclosed this to journalists in Abuja, says the former governor was cooperating with the commission to perfect the bail conditions, but revealed that the former governor is still in the EFCC custody. According to him, there was nothing political about the former governor's arrest. Mr. Obiano was arrested on Thursday at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos while trying to board a flight to Texas, United States. The EFCC had in November last year placed the former governor on a watch list. He was arrested for misappropriating 5 billion naira surety and 37 billion naira security vote funds, which was withdrawn in cash. Part of the funds was also allegedly diverted to finance political activities in the state. And staying in Abuja, where the Federal High Court has struck out a motion on notice filed by Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi seeking to stay the execution of a judgment removing him from office. Justice Inyang Ekwo struck out the motion on Monday following the withdrawal of the case by the plaintiffs in the suit. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Chukwuma Ume, who represented Governor Mahi and his deputy, Kelechi Igwe, informed the court of the new developments. The decision by both men, according to the lawyer, is hinged on the fact that they have now approached the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, to reverse the March the 8th decision of the court, which removed them from office to ensure they are reinstated. In a short ruling, Justice Yang struck out the motion, with the focus now turned to the appellate court in the quest to reinstate the sacked governor and his deputy. And also, the Federal High Court in Abuja has notified the candidacy of 20 members of the Cross River State House of Assembly that defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressive Congress. Justice Taiwo, in a judgment, held that the lawmakers, having abandoned the political party that sponsored them to power, ought to vacate their seats. The People's Democratic Party had instituted a suit against the lawmakers over the defection to the APC. Now, away from court matters, let's talk politics. The Supreme Council of Sharia in Nigeria is calling on religious intellectuals to actively participate in politics so as to bring about the desired change for the development of the country. Secretary General of the organization, Dr. Nafiu Baba Ahmed, made the call at the pre-Ramadan meeting held in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Rafiu Hamid reports on this.
It's an annual event which usually holds before the commencement of Ramadan. Delegates from across the country gather to discuss issues affecting the country and most especially Islam. Dr. Nafi Baba Ahmed and the guest speaker, Ismaila Shehu, said the myriads of challenges facing the country are caused by Nigerians. They want Muslim scholars to promote sermons that will sensitize their followers to form a formidable front against daunting national challenges.
There are intellectuals from both sides of the divides. They should lead their people and plead honestly and sincerely by telling power the truth. We must not see religious leaders romancing with corrupt politicians, and they happen from all sides.
So we're urging the ulama to use their respective, opportunities to appeal to Muslims to do this, because whether we like it or not, this is the way good or bad leaders will emerge.
Their submission was corroborated by the Vice President General, Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Nigeria is a country that has been well blessed by God with a lot of resources. Mismanagement, bad leadership, and incapability of leaders are part of the predicament. So what we need to do is to now search ourselves. Allah will not change condition of the country, change what is in them. They ill, the sickness is in us, and we have to change.
The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, was represented by Chief Tunde Badmus, who speaks on the need for active participation of Muslims in politics.
By sitting, we sit down and say, Fatiha, whatever. Fatiha is Allah accepts Fatiha. But we also need to partake in physical in what we are doing.
The state governor, Adegboye Gawitola, believes lessons learned at the meeting will be put to use in the interest of the country.
I believe that we will imbibe the lessons learned during this meeting and ensure that we practice all we have learned in our respective mosques in different parts of the country. We will continue to appreciate your prayer. Islam is a religion of peace. We should always ensure peace.
The theme for this year's meeting is the state of the nation, a prognosis by the Muslim Ummah. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Osogbo.
And as politicians and political parties begin negotiation and calculations to decide who emerges as party candidate and who gets majority of the votes, there are records of more entrants into the 2023 presidential race. This is happening as the various parties seek attention on their preferred candidates. There is more in this report.
The contest for the office of the president is getting more intense as Nigerians are in a desperate search to find a worthy candidate that will fill President Muhammadu Buhari's shoe when his tenure expires in 2023. This group, known as the Green Alliance Movement, are here to champion the cause for a better Nigeria. They have now put their spotlight on the current governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
2.5 years.
even though Godwin Emefiele is yet to publicly declare his interest to contest in the presidential election.
We cannot afford not to get it right in searching for who to succeed President Buhari come 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, the only man who can do better to uphold his legacies is none other than Dr. Godwin Emefiele.
We have studied all his achievements for us to have come to this conclusion and say, okay, we need to try and persuade this man. It's a clarion call. It's a passionate appeal to him. We are really begging him. We are pleading.
They say his contribution towards the success of President Buhari's administration qualifies him to take up the enormous task of uniting the country and restoring stability to Nigeria's dwindling economy.
To diversify our economy and to invest in agriculture. Immediately, Dr. Godwin Emefiele came into this, and we have seen various and remarkable intervention in this sector of the Nigerian economy.
Women and youth have also been encouraged to make themselves available for leadership positions.
We're calling and urging women to come out and be confident to run for public offices. And I believe every woman in Nigeria will throw all their support to you.
Although the man, Godwin Emefiele, is yet to publicly declare his interest to run for the office of president, this group remains positive that he will bow to pressure and throw his hat in the ring.
Do stay with us here on TVC News. We'll take a break and be back with more stories. You're watching TVC News at 6. Staying with political matters, the contest to occupy the seat of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress is still entwined in uncertainties. So far, there are about 10 aspirants jostling for a position that has been microzoned to the north central region of the country. TVC News senior reporter Femi Akonde had an exclusive interview with Senator Mohammed Sani Musa for his reaction to the purported endorsement.
You cannot deny Mr. President of having preference on anyone. Mr. President can have preference on any one of us. But that does not foreclose the possibility of Mr. President agreeing to certain statutes that will make, because they might be superior to his own aspiration as to liking one person. You can't deny it. But all of us that are contesting this election are being loved and liked by Mr. President. We are all obedient servants of Mr. President. We are all die-hard followers of Mr. President. When people are saying somebody has been endorsed, how can we foreclose that? Mr. President is the leader of the party. If the Mr. President invites all of us and sat with us, we are all his children.
In Kwara State, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Yakubu Saliu-Danladi, is appealing to APC members in the state to put aside the differences and ensure unity within the party ahead of the general election. He made the appeal while addressing some residents of Omopo State constituency during a poverty alleviation program. Our correspondent Ibrahim Alege reports on this.
Apart from infrastructural development, it's part of the program of the APC government in Kwara State to give dividends of democracy to the people of this state. It is the turn of the people of Omopo State constituency to benefit from its empowerment interventions.
Sewing machines, grinding machines, POS machine, agricultural spraying machines.
They are being empowered to improve their existing businesses or start new ones.
It's still a means by which I can use to commercially to convey, but more importantly, difficulty I have in movement from my place of work to my place of residence. It will go a long way to be of assistance in this regard.
I count this as a great privilege, and I see it as a very big favor to me, which will also enhance my business, because I've always wanted to buy additional machine to my shop, because when I get apprentice, they will have enough machine to use.
This is facilitated by the member representing Omokpo State constituency in the Kwara State House of Assembly, Abdul-Ghani Salaudeen. He's asking his constituents to support Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak for his second term.
And I end this speech by admonishing our constituents to join hands in ensuring that our constituency takes the lead in bringing our amiable governor, Madam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, back in the second tenure.
Addressing the people of Omokpo constituency, the Speaker, Kwara State House of Assembly, Mr. Yakubu Saliu-Danladi, appeals to party faithful to close ranks and work for the victory of the party in the next election.
If we love Malan Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, there is no need of this disagreement. Yes, we are on empowerment, but unity is most important. If there is no unity, these people will not be here today.
The beneficiaries are equally advised to make judicious use of the materials for the aim of the distribution to be achieved. Ibrahim Malige, TVC News, Omokpo, Kwara State.
In other news, the management of Jos University Teaching Hospital has responded to a newspaper report claiming that the institution is denying health services to people of a particular ethnicity and religion. The publication has it that residents within the Hausa Fulani community in Jos North are forced by the record officers at the General Outpatient Department of Youth to change the states of origin and local governments before they can register to see a doctor. TVC News Plateau correspondent Phenom Joshua has more on the story.
One of Nigeria's leading newspapers had claimed in its recent publication that the Jos University Teaching Hospital was being discriminatory in its treatment of patients. The investigative report claimed that patients who filed Jos North Council as area of origin were usually denied treatment on grounds that they were not bona fide indigents of Plateau State. The reporter who wrote the report says he took time to disguise as a patient, where he also witnessed the same experience. Dr. Paco Bopwada is the acting chief medical director of the Jos University Teaching Hospital. He insists that the article written by the reporter is false, malicious, and totally contrary to the practice of the management of such federal government institution.
This morning, my phone has been inundated with all sorts of calls from different quarters concerning a publication of Daily Trust with the caption, investigation, how Jude denies Hausa Fulani treatment for claiming Plateau State. We do not discriminate in Jos University Hospital, and we will never discriminate based on any of those discriminatory tendencies that I've mentioned, either race, religion, tribe. We do not. We do not ask you for your indigent certificate, where you're coming from, for us to authenticate whatever you give us. We do not, and we will not.
On the trending viral video of a nurse questioning the origin of some residents at the facility, the CMD says that the nurse in question was not authorized by the management to do so. He told journalists that the lady has been reprimanded for such action.
I'm not in any way castigating the reporter. Don't take me wrongly. He did his own job as a reporter, but I'm telling you, he should have gotten my own perspective as the chief executive. You know, acting as a chief medical director. At least if he has gotten that, then you would have said the report is complete.
The management of the Jos University Teaching Hospital is appealing to the public to report any act of discrimination. He also advises journalists to be factual in their reportage and avoid misleading the general public with publications that are not credible. Phenom Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
Logistics operators in Lagos State have embarked on a protest against inhumane practices meted out to them, which they believe is destroying their source of livelihood. The logistics operators are questioning the rationale behind the many levies they pay, many of which are not recognized by law. Our correspondent Theophilus Elama tracked their protest, which they took to the seat of power in Lagos.
These logistics operators converge here to embark on a peaceful protest against the activities of some government agencies. The demonstration, which started in Ikeja and moved to the Lagos State House of Assembly, is organized to drive home the point that some government policies are causing them pain. In August last year, the Lagos State House of Assembly called for a stop in the illegal activities of hoodlums who extort operators. But it seems this fell on deaf ears and no action was taken to implement the Assembly's directive.
We are operating in Lagos, we collect papers for Zamfara. We collect papers for Kebbi.
You're operating in Lagos?
We are operating in Lagos, we collect papers for Zamfara. We collect papers for Kebbi. We collect papers for Ibadan, for Osun, for Benin Kebbi, for Ekiti. Right here in Lagos. They will tell you they cannot explain.
How are we supposed to know?
The people that claim to actually be our regulators, NIPOs, will tell you they don't know anything about it. Now you have come to say you want to be our regulators and also want to be a player in the same system.
I have 3 bikes, and the truth is that you're paying good salaries to riders, and at the end of the day you spend so much, you don't have anything. At the end of the day, at 1 month is coming to an end, you're already afraid.
I have colleagues in Ogun State who want dispatch. I have colleagues in Oyo State who have with dispatch. They don't have up to 10 papers for some of them. Now a local government boy, a tout, we have the guts to beat a rider up. How does that work?
In just less than a week, NIPOS and MOT has introduced a new rider's card, and everything is serving for just one purpose. So I don't know why a rider should have 4 different cards for just one purpose. It's too much.
While they waited, a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly represented the Assembly expressed shock at the continued extortion amongst other vices. He pledged the government's commitment to ending this illegal action.
If you want peace in the state, truly, this is not the way to get or to bring the peace to that stage. So I'm begging you, and I'm imploring you that what you came here for today, believe it, you will see the answer before the week runs to an end.
They are calling on government to intervene quickly because, according to them, it is affecting the business in no small measure, but in huge measure, putting more Nigerian youths in the unemployment market. Theophilus Ilama, TVC News, Lagos.
And outside Nigeria, the United Nations has estimated that nearly 3.5 million Ukrainians have fled the country following Russia's invasion, praising neighboring countries for showing overwhelming compassion towards their extreme plight. More than 10 million people, over a quarter of the population in regions under government control, are now thought to have fled their homes, including the millions of internally displaced people. According to UNHCR Chief Filippo Grandi, in the last 4 weeks, the world has watched in disbelief. Countless lives have been lost, while millions of others have been completely overturned. Women and children account some 90% of those who have fled. Ukrainian men aged 18 to 60 are eligible for military call-up and cannot leave. UNICEF, the UN Children's Agency, said more than 1.5 million children are among those who have fled abroad. And that's the news this time. Thanks so much for watching. At the top of the hour, Nifemi Ogunte will be here with the latest updates. Bye for now.